Shabbat Shalom everyone, Shabbat Parashat Bamidbar. Starting off a new Chumash. We are also at this time coming towards the end of Sfirat Omer. Sfirat Omer, we counting from Yetziat Mitzrayim, coming out of Egypt, to Matan Torah. The peak of Yetziat Mitzrayim is Matan Torah. Then Chumash Bamidbar, we see that Matan Torah is only a stage, because Chumash Bamidbar is moving from Har Sinai to the border of Eretz Israel. So we see that this very special peak of Ma'amad Har Sinai is only the end of the first stage of coming out of Israel. And from there, we need to now continue across the desert, what should be 11 days, 11 Yom Mechorev, the way it says in the beginning of Dvarim, turns into 40 years. And those, and after that, so now finally we're going to enter Israel. That's going to be what we've been waiting for. Nearly, because we're going to enter into Israel, and then there's a whole stage until we're ready for to have a proper king. It takes nearly 400 years, and then Shaul, and then David, and only after David can we reach Shlomo HaMelech, who's going to build Beit HaMikdash. A lot of stages. A long journey. The first stage of the journey, the main part of the journey we're going to be speaking about in Chumash Bamidbar is from Har Sinai to Eretz Israel. Parashat Bamidbar, the next 2.5 parashiyot, basically, not only Parashat Bamidbar, deal with the preparations for this journey. A lot of details in the preparations. A lot of aspects, counting everyone, making sure every detail knows where to be, mentioning the numbers twice, the exact numbers of each tribe twice, and summing up every 3 tribes together and the total sum of everyone all together. See a lot of details, very similar to the way we saw many details in the building of the Mishkan. But we see here very long preparations until we'll reach Vayibin Yaron in 2 weeks' time. It's a known thing that we often say that a wedding is like Ma'amad Har Sinai. And I think we can see a lot in it, because I said Ma'amad Har Sinai, that's the end of the stage of coming out of Egypt. Coming out of being unmarried. You finish that at the wedding, it's the peak of that stage. But what happens after that? You start married life, but married life at the beginning, you're still only beginning to create married life. Although you're already married, halachically, legally, you're married. But still it takes a long time till the 2 spouses actually turn into one, till it becomes one unit. You could say in a way it's similar to the 40 years in the desert. We know that also the Torah teaches us the first year of marriage should be dedicated to the house. It doesn't mean that during the first year you don't do anything else. Could be doing other things. Could also be learning. Could be working. Could be doing other things. But what is the focus? What are you focused on? What are you focused on? It's going to make a big difference. Because sometimes a person says, yeah, also it's my first year of marriage, but also I need to get a degree and I need to work. And very fast, we need to do the whole time. We need to see what are we doing, what's the main thing, what's secondary, and the creating of the proper bond and connection and turning these 2 spouses into one household, that could take longer. That's why often I've heard from Shlomo Aviner, from other people, that this first year sometimes takes longer. For the first year to happen properly, it requires, part of it is time, and other parts of it are preparations. Just the same as now we're preparing for the journey in the desert. A lot of different preparations, seeing what are the different elements we need, where they need to be, what they need to be. The main element we need in creating the household is the connection, the communication between the spouses. That has to happen with a lot of time together, a lot of time that is focused on being together. It means if 2 people are together at home, but each one of them is doing something else, it's often worse than not being together at home. Because if we're together and one's waiting to speak and the other one's just finishing off 2 things on the phone, and just a phone call from a friend and answering the phone call, and that just happens to be the friend's traveling somewhere, he's got 2 hours while he's traveling, so he just wants to somehow fill up the time, and that doesn't work. That's been totally unfocused. I would normally say the basic recommendation should be at least 12 hours a day. No telephones, anything at home. So it's true, some of those hours are going to be sleeping, 7, 8 hours are going to be sleeping, that's fine. But keep the phones away from, before that comes nighttime, 6 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening. Shut everything off. Everything, most times, everything can wait for the morning afterwards. The time of being together, of noticing each other, of paying attention to each other, of doing things together. All of that's very important later on in life, Bezrat Hashem. Family grows and there's more and more responsibilities and stuff like that. Everything becomes different. If you build the beginning properly, then you can move on to the next stage. That's what gradual development, which is the way everything in the world features. Everything in our world features in or develops gradually, slowly, slowly. A baby, first there's pregnancy. After the pregnancy, a lot of stages through the pregnancy. Then birth, and then when the baby's born, what can he do? He can't do anything. He's more of a nuisance than actually creating and than actually doing anything. Slowly. Eventually I'll grow up and be independent and be creative and do things on his own and everything. That's why we're happy from the beginning, because we understand it's gradual. We need to know at the beginning of married life, sometimes people feel that the wedding, that's the peak, and from there starts a downhill. No, the wedding is another milestone on the way of climbing up, and the whole life, the whole time, we continue to appear, to develop, to create the connection between us. But it's crucial to do the first year properly, to go out of that journey of the first year, to do it properly, to think about it, to plan it. What other things am I going to be doing? Are they going to be disturbing what I'm trying to achieve now? Are they not going to be disturbing what I'm trying to achieve now? Before I got married, close to where I was studying, there was a couple, they were already married, and they used to often invite all of us old bachelors over for Shabbos meals. And it was known that their Shabbos meals was something amazing. They used to look every Shabbos, new recipes and amazing things. But when I was by them once, they said that they realized they're making a mistake. Because every Thursday night, or actually every Friday, because it started Thursday night and continued till Friday morning, they were looking up recipes and they were making sure they had all the ingredients and making all of the special food. But then came the Shabbos table and they were exhausted. They were worn out. They didn't have energy for the actual table. So what's the point in it? So it's true that also the preparing the food together was a lot of time together for them. But if you're preparing it for Shabbos table, then that doesn't work out properly. Okay, you need to be focused. What's the main thing? What's the goal? And add on other things. And it's true that at the beginning, people want to go all over the place in all directions. But you need to be careful, because sometimes by taking just one commitment too much, you ruin the main thing that you're trying to do. Be'ezrat Hashem, Shabbat Shalom.